Hi, this is Bishop Henry Bolden. I am the Bishop of Operations for the Family of Churches Fellowship International, and I can't even begin to express to you literally how excited I am about our soon approaching Holy Convocation for 2018, happening right here, the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, June 19th through the 21st. Listen, you want to put it on your calendar now. This is the event. Scratch that. This is the epic event that you have to be at. June 19th through the 21st. All you have to do is go to www.focfi.org and register now. Now check this out. We have drastically slashed the prices for registration. Registration is only $29. You heard me. I'll say it again because you're probably thinking he must have made a mistake. I really didn't. $29 for registration for these 3 days of impactful ministry. VIP, if you so choose to be a VIP registrant, that is only $49, but I need you to do it quickly. I really wish I could extend this rate for a long time, but there's only a small window, so you got to get in now. It's going to be an amazing time of ministry. 2018's Holy Convocation theme, as mandated by our presiding bishop, it is the year of innovation, new ideas, new concepts, new approaches. This year is going to be a year where you leave empowered and equipped, and your whole ministry is going to be enhanced by what you receive here during FOCFI's Holy Convocation. This year, I'm excited for a lot of reasons. This year's sessions are going to include the swim conference, which is Sisters Winning in Ministry. And of course, that session is led by our presider, Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr. and Lady Lisa Blakes. Sisters Winning in Ministry. This is a session that is in much demand literally around the country. But this year, we have the privilege of offering it to you during Holy Convocation. Also, another area that I'm excited about is our young emerging leaders. That's right. There's a generation of leaders who are on the rise, and it is our responsibility to make sure that we pour into them, that we impart into them so that they are equipped and they are prepared to lead with integrity and do those things that God has called them to do. Also, this year, for the first time, something I'm really excited about, we have Bishop Samuel Blakes. He's going to be leading the Prayer Nation every morning at 9 a.m. right here at the Pontchartrain Center. Every morning, 9 a.m., he's going to be praying heaven down, I promise you. And also, we're doing a section led by our Bishop of Education, Dr. Henry Ballard. It is the session for pastors and leaders. I promise you, there's going to be a wealth of information. It's going to be rich with substance. It's going to be rich with insight, and you definitely don't want to miss out on that. I'm also excited about offering this year a very special presentation by none other than Bishop Mark A. Moore Sr. from Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to be dealing with You Can Get There From Here, how to overcome plateaus in ministry and business. You certainly don't want to miss this. And our special guest will be none other than Pastor John Hanna, pastor of New Life Covenant Church, Chicago, Illinois. But I need you to register. June the 19th through the 21st, right here in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Actually, we're at the Pontchartrain Center. As you see me standing here now, we're in a suburb of New Orleans called Kenner. And the reason we're here, we wanted to make it just a little more convenient for our delegates who are flying in literally from around the country and around the world. We're about 5 minutes away from the airport. We have some host hotels that are literally next door and maybe 2 or 3 minutes up the street. But we are here at the Pontchartrain Center. I'm excited about what's going to be happening for Holy Convocation. Come on with FOCFI Holy Convocation, June 19th through the 21st. www.focfi.org. I need you to go and register now because you can't miss this. I'll see you here for Holy Convocation.
told me I was something. Y'all say it. When they told me I was nothing. Somebody say, Lord, you told me I was something. Y'all acting like y'all don't remember. When they told me I was nothing. Lord, you told me I was something. When they told me I was nothing. Lord, you told me I was something. Y'all follow me now. When they told me I was trying to make me feel bad. Come on, say it again, rock the music with me. You gotta remember, y'all. Say it again, can you remember, y'all? When they told me I was nothing. Get excited about it. When they told me I was nothing. Come on, say Lord. Lord, you told me I was something. Say it again, God. Say, when they told me I was nothing. Lift your voice and say, Lord, you told me I was something. Hey, when they told me I was nothing. When they told me I was nothing. Now say this with me, say, I'm victorious. 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 You gotta say it with yourself. Say, I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. Say, I'm victorious. I'm victorious. Let the life in the power of your tongue. Say it. Say, I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. Lift your voice and say, I'm victorious. I'm victorious. I'm victorious. That's why I love you. Lift it up. Somebody really love me and say, I love you. Y'all gotta excuse me, because listen, when they told me I was nothing, Lord, you told me I was something. You gotta remember, y'all, when they told me I was nothing, Lord, you told me I was something. They don't want to do it. Let's go back to I love you. Let's go back there and say, I love you forever. I love you forever. I love you forever. Lord, I love you forever. I love you forever. I love you forever.
You know how you defeat the enemy? When you open your mouth and you declare. You know how to put the enemy under your feet. When you open your mouth and you. My brother done told me up this morning. If you don't remember nothing else from praise and worship, if you don't remember nothing else from praise and worship today, you need to go home with a new swag. You need to walk
part 3 of my series of preachings on how to upgrade your life. How to upgrade your life. If you remember, we started out talking about Joseph, or we started out talking about Joshua, the life of Joshua, and how Joshua upgraded, his mentality, and how he upgraded, all of those different areas of his life. And then we went on to the life of Joseph. Now we are talking about a man at a pool. This man is unnamed. This man is unnamed, but this man is in desperate need of an upgrade. And I wonder if I got anybody in New Home this morning that's in desperate need of an upgrade. Look at somebody, tell them I need an upgrade. John chapter 5, and y'all work with me today. My voice is not as strong. John chapter 5, verse number 1 is where I'm going to begin my reading, and I'm going to read a few more of the following verses. It says this: after this, there was a feast of the Jews, and Jesus went up to Jerusalem. Now there was at Jerusalem by the sheep market a pool, which is called in the Hebrew tongue Bethesda. Everybody say Bethesda. Bethesda, Bethesda, Bethesda. Everybody say Bethesda. Bethesda it literally means the place of mercy, the place where mercy is found. He says there that this pool of Bethesda, having 5 porches, and these lay a great multitude of impotent folk, of blind, halt, withered, waiting for the moving of the water. For an angel went down at a certain season into the pool and troubled the water, and whosoever then first, after the troubling of the water, stepped in, was made whole of whatsoever disease he had. And a certain man, everybody says certain man. A certain man was there which had an infirmity for 38 years. How many of y'all know that's a long time? How many of y'all I got in here that's younger than 38? Lift your hands, lift your hands. Some of y'all don't know how old you are, huh? I'm looking at some children in here. Don't even have their hands raised. For 38 years, when Jesus saw him lie and knew that he had been now a long time in that case, he saith unto him, wilt thou be made whole? The impotent man said unto him, Sir, I have no man when the water is troubled to put me in the pool. He says, but while I am coming, another steppeth down before me. Jesus saith unto him, rise. If you don't mind, try that out on somebody. Tell them, rise. Look at him and tell him, get up from there. Jesus says to him, rise, take up your bed and walk. And immediately the man was made whole and took up his bed and walked. And on the same day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said unto him that was cured, it is the Sabbath day. It is not lawful for thee to carry your bed. This man lays at a pool for 38 years because every year in this place of mercy, the angel would come and he would trouble the water, and whoever got into the water first, was healed of whatever plague or whatever disease they had. And then the Bible says, around this pool, there were all different kinds of impediments and ailments and weaknesses and struggles. Sort of sound like the church. All kinds of issues and problems and weaknesses and struggles and imperfections, and sort of sound like the church, because this place is called the place of mercy. Sort of sound like what the church should be. So it sounds like what the church should be. It should be a place of mercy. But in many instances, it is not a place of mercy. It is more a place of judgment. In a lot of instances, it is not a place of mercy. It is a place of ridicule and a place of criticism and a place of judgment. And the truth of the matter is, oftentimes the folk who are first to judge should be the last. Here this man is at the place of mercy, and he has a problem. And the thing that sticks out the most to me, Pastor, about his problem is not that he has a problem, because all of us got a problem. If you don't mind, look at somebody and tell them you got a problem too. Now, your problem may not be public, but and if you sit here today and say you ain't got a problem, we know your problem. You're a liar. Because the Bible says all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. This man has a problem, and that's not what really intrigues me about the man. The thing that intrigues me about this man is not that he has a problem. The thing that intrigues me is how long he has had the same problem. For 38 years, this man has had the same struggle. If you don't mind, just catch somebody's hand and ask them, how long you been struggling with yours? 38 years. This man has, the Bible calls him the impotent man, and it has to do with the weakness of his limbs or his flesh. He does not have the power in his limbs. He is crippled in his limbs. This man is in desperate need of an upgrade. This man has a crippling disease he has been having for 38 years, and he hangs out with crippled folk. Not only does he have issues, all his partners got issues. Not only is he messed up, his whole crew. If you don't mind, touch somebody and ask them, do you know anybody like that? But there's some things that happen in this man's life in the text that demands our attention. How does this man move, Brother Carter, from the place he is to the place he wants to be? Several things you need to note about this man. First thing you need to note is the Bible said while this man is laying at this pool in his 38th year, Jesus comes walking alongside of the pool. And the first step to this man's road, the first step on this man's road to upgrade is he has, get this, an encounter with Jesus. Ooh, listen. I need to hang my hat and talk about that, because a lot of y'all want to upgrade your lives, and you're trying to upgrade your wardrobe, and you're trying to upgrade the car you drive, and you're trying to upgrade the neighborhood you live in. But I want to tell you, don't none of that mean nothing if you don't ever have an encounter with Jesus. Listen, let me talk to this young generation who believes, you got to go get it. And this is a paper chasing generation. And y'all are running behind things and running behind money and running behind stuff. But let me tell you today, what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and die and lose his soul? I don't know about anybody in this room, but do I have any old school saints in this room that will testify, I would rather have Jesus than silver or... This man has an encounter with Jesus. Listen, if you're going to upgrade your life, first thing you got to do is you have to have an encounter with Jesus. That's why the mission of the church should not just be to fill your pockets. The mission of the church should not just be to teach you how to get more money and how to get a better job and how to get a better man and how to live in a better neighborhood. Listen, the first mission of the church, certainly we ought to teach you all these other things, but the first mission of the church is we ought to introduce you to Jesus. Because there is no upgrade of your life apart from him. I can prove it because some of y'all got all of the creature comforts. You got everything you need to live with, but still ain't got nothing to live for. I wish I had some help here now. Well, other folk don't have as much as you, but they got more than you at the same time. Because you're miserable in a Mercedes while they shouting on a bus. If you don't mind, touch somebody, tell them, neighbor, I got a word for you. Tell them you cannot upgrade your life without needing Jesus. And I know we don't like to talk about him, but it's Jesus in the morning. It's Jesus in the evening. It's Jesus when the sun goes down. His name is above every name, and at his name every knee must bow and every tongue must confess. I need somebody to throw your head back and just shout, Jesus. This man encounters Jesus. Yeah, he runs into Jesus in a desperate place. He runs into Jesus in a wounded place. He runs into Jesus in an impaired place. He runs into Jesus right on the side of the pool. He has an encounter with Jesus. Listen, first key to your upgrade is you need to encounter Jesus. A lot of y'all reading all of these books and have never read the Bible. You know what everybody got to say. You know what Confucius got to say? Huh? You know what Plato and Aristotle got to say? But you don't know nothing about what Jesus has to say. And you don't even understand that things are really not your upgrade. Your upgrade begins with your encounter with Jesus. How many of y'all can testify that since you met Jesus, your life has been upgraded? If you don't mind, just tell somebody, tell them, neighbor, tell them, since I met Jesus, my life is upgraded. Look at me and tell me, I don't have everything to live with, but I got something to live for. Listen, he encounters Jesus. First thing we learn from this man is that without Jesus, you're nothing. This man meets Jesus. Jesus comes walking alongside of the pool. Jesus encounters this man, and Jesus strikes up a conversation with this man. And listen, this is the power of meeting Jesus. When you meet Jesus, he introduces you to you. Jesus come walking alongside of the pool, and he walks up next to this brother, and he says to him, do you want to be made whole? When he encounters Jesus, Jesus forces him to encounter himself. He encounters himself. Jesus says, do you want to be made whole? Because get this, your upgrade in life will have a lot to do with your desire. Listen. That's why I'm trying to get some of you parents to understand. Listen, stop running yourself crazy over children who don't want nothing. Because at the end of the day, you can want it for them. Everybody else can want it for them. But unless they want it for them, a lot of y'all are losing your minds and mortgaging your houses over boys that want to stay in jail. Just to made up your mind that's where you want to live. Listen. Jesus forces this man to encounter himself. He says, now listen, what do you want? What do you want? Jesus said, what do you want? Do you want to really be made whole? Do you want to really be made whole? And now listen, this is a deeper question than do you want to be healed? See, a lot of y'all want to be healed, but you really don't want to be whole. Because healing has to do with your physiology, while wholeness has to do with your psychology. See, you want everything on the outside well while you're still messed up on the inside. Lord, help me preach here now. Listen, he does not say, do you want to be healed? Because if all you want are new legs, listen, God is in the business of making you whole. But in order to make you whole, he has to force you to encounter yourself. And this ain't the first time he forced somebody to encounter themselves. This ain't the first time he forced somebody to encounter themselves. He met a man who was full of demons in the Gadarenes, and the Bible said that man was living in the tombs, running up to the mountain, back down to the valley, cutting himself with stones. And Jesus walks up to him and asks him a simple question: what's your name? Who are you? I wish I had some help here now. And the truth of the matter is, if you ask the average person in here who they are, they can't even answer you. They'll tell you what they do and not who they are. Jesus says, do you want to be made whole? He encounters himself. And every person in this room needs to investigate your heart and find out what your true desires are. Find out what you really want. Some of y'all need to make up your minds. You need to make up your minds what you really want. Because your life ain't going to never upgrade till your desires upgrade. A lot of y'all keep wondering why, the same kind of people keep gravitating to your life. You wonder why every man you catch is a dog. It's because you're a dog catcher. It goes back to your desire. If you don't mind, touch 3 folk on your row and ask them, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Because God is not in the business of forcing what he wants on you. You are a free agent, a free moral agent, which means he gives you the power of choice and the power of decision. And it's going to all begin with your desire. And until you change your desire, you'll never upgrade your life. Had a young lady in our church, a good young man, good young man working, loved her. She talked about he wasn't bowdy enough for her. Really what she meant was he don't pull none of these tracks out of my head. Didn't want him. Because I just like roughnecks. It's quiet up in here. Left that good young man. Went and got her a roughneck. And he in here this morning. I wish I had some help in there. Left that good young man. Went and got her a roughneck. I wish I had some help here. And another young lady in this church came and swooped him up. And they just bought their house. I wish I had some help here now. And living in a gated community. Touch somebody, ask them what you want. I don't know where she at with her roughneck. Listen, Jesus forces this man to encounter himself. Could it be that you keep attracting what you're attracting and keep ending up at the level you're at because your desires need to change? I'm going to talk today. Will y'all give me a few minutes? Jesus says, let me force you to see yourself. Let me force you to see yourself. Jesus said, what do you want? Do you just want healing or do you want wholeness? Do you just want healing or do you want wholeness? Do you just want money, a money miracle, or do you want wholeness? Do you just want a financial blessing or do you want wholeness? Why do you come to church? What's your purpose for being here? I wish I had some help in now. Do you really want to be made whole, or do you just come to church for entertainment? Can I get a witness here? He says, after you encounter me, now you need to encounter yourself, and you need to be real about your desires. And if your desires are not in agreement with what God wants for you, how many of y'all believe God is able to change your desires? But you got to want change. Jesus says, do you want to be made whole? So man has an encounter with Jesus. He has an encounter with himself. Third thing the man does in the text on the road to upgrade was he has a reality check concerning people. First, he meets Jesus. Secondly, he encounters himself. Thirdly, he has a reality check about people. Because Jesus said, do you want to be made whole? And guess what he says? I ain't got nobody. I ain't got nobody. Put me in the pool. I wish I had some help in that. See, one of the things you will discover on your road to upgrade is that nobody wants to get in your lowlights. But everybody want to get in your highlights. Am I preaching to anybody in this room? He says, now that I'm down, I ain't got nobody. And that's a message to somebody in this room who places all of your confidence and all of your energy in people helping you. A lot of y'all so worried about, people helping you, and you upset because people won't help you. This man said, I ain't got nobody to put me in the pool. I ain't got nobody to help me. I ain't got nobody to help me. Can I tell y'all something in this room? The first thing you need to understand is it ain't nobody's job. Oh, I see I lost some of y'all there. A lot of y'all want to guilt trip people because they won't do for you what you're too lazy to do for yourself. You want to buy what you want with your money and then beg for what you need for somebody else's money, but it ain't nobody else's job to put you in the pool and take care of you. How you around here 50 years old, mad at your mama because she won't keep your lights on? Y'all quiet up in here. Listen, it ain't nobody else's job to put you in the pool. And some of y'all need a reality check about people. Now, certainly God will use people. If you don't mind, tell somebody, tell neighbor, tell them, yeah, God will use people. Tell them God will cause men to give unto your bosom. Good measures pressed down, shaken together. But look at somebody, tell them, don't ever get it twisted. Men are not your source. They are just resources. God is your source. And if you're going to upgrade your life, you got to stop putting all your confidence in men. This brother sounds just like us in the text, man. I'm almost done. Don't he sound like somebody you know? I ain't got nobody put me in the pool. Every time I try to step in, somebody step in before me. I wish I had some help in that. It ain't nobody's job. A lot of y'all are raising children. Huh? You got to raise your children in a way to make them understand life ain't going to give you nothing. Don't raise your children to be dependent on nobody. I wish I had some help here now. Ladies, it's wonderful if God blesses you with a man that pays bills. But before that man comes, you need to learn how to pay your own. You need to learn how to make it happen. You need to learn how to be upwardly mobile and productive. You need to know how to do more than sling your hat. $500 worth of hair on a $5 head. Listen, he has. Listen, he has. He has a reality check about people. He says, I ain't got nobody to put me in the pool. And every time I try to step in, somebody steps in before me. Can I tell you, this man is a classic example why a lot of us can't upgrade. You will never upgrade playing the blame game. Come on, man. You ain't gonna never get better as long as you keep blaming other folk for your condition and your situation. I wish I had some help in now. Can't get a witness here. Listen, man, listen, you've been here 38 years. 38 years? Should nobody have to put you in the pool, man? You could have rolled to the pool. You could have fell in the pool. And it's obvious reading the text that you're able to do something because you said out of your own mouth every time I try to step in. Oh, so you can step. Come on, if you don't mind, look at somebody, tell them, neighbor. Tell them, stop blaming your mama. Tell them, stop blaming your friends. Tell them, stop blaming the pastor. Because you ain't got in the pool yet. Look at somebody, tell them, God bless the child that's got his own. If you're going to upgrade your life, you got to realize it ain't about what you do for me. Okay, look, I'm almost done. He meets Jesus. He meets himself. He has a reality check about people. Fourth thing. He has someone in his life that puts a demand on him. Because, listen, when he get through with all his pole mouthing, I ain't got nobody put me in the pool, and every time I try to step in, somebody stepping before me, and trying to hold a brother down, keep a brother down. I don't see a brother ride. I want to see a brother come up, trying to hold me down, Wardy. When he get through with all of that complaining, Derek, Jesus does not even entertain his poor mouthing, his complaining, his mumbling, his grumbling. Jesus said, I ain't coming for all that, man. Look at somebody, tell me I ain't trying to hear all that. Jesus says one word to him that is a transformative word. This is what he says. When the brother, I ain't got nobody put me in the pool, and every time I try to step in, somebody stepping before me, they doing this and they doing that, and you don't know how they getting together on me and trying to hold me down. Jesus simply looks beyond all of that, never addresses that, and he says one word to him that's so powerful. And I want you to look at your neighbor and just say this. Look at your neighbor and say this word that Jesus says. Look at him and say, rise. Jesus said, I ain't trying to hear that, man. You got more in you than you've been putting out. You bigger on the inside than you've been exposing on the outside. Somebody has crippled you and made you believe that you can't do no better, but you can. I wish I had some help. See, your problem is you've been mothered to death. Somebody that made you think you that baby. Man 30 years old and you still calling him baby. Well, he may be your baby, but your baby is going to be somebody's man. And if he's going to be the kind of man he's supposed to be, or if she's going to be the kind of woman she's supposed to be, somebody has to love him enough to look at him and say, see, this is why most of us can't upgrade, because everybody in our lives makes us feel comfortable living like we are and staying like we are, and nobody ever loves us enough to give us some tough love and say, I dare you to look somebody right in the eye. Tell them, neighbor, tell them don't get mad with me. Tell them I'm telling you this because I love you. Tell them you've been down there too long. You've been struggling too long. You've been crying too long. Look them right in the eye and just tell them, rise. He puts a demand on him. He has someone in his life that puts a demand on him. He tells him, rise. You need somebody in your life that makes you uncomfortable. Somebody in your life ought to make you uncomfortable. The Bible talks about as the eagle stirs her nest. It's the eagle stirs her nest. And what does it literally mean? It means that when the chicklets, or the eaglets start getting too big for the nest, what the eagle does is start taking some of the comfort out of the nest and let some thorns start sticking through. And that's a message to that bird. And guess what it's telling the bird? You too big to be in my nest. It's time for you to. How you upgrade when everybody in your life makes you feel comfortable. Ain't nobody putting no demands on you. Don't nobody love you enough to tell you you lazy. So they're just going to let you sit on the couch eating Cheerios at 12 o'clock in the day. Watching as the world turns. Searching for tomorrow. When you need a guiding light with all your children. You too fertile to be lazy. Listen, Jesus says to him, rise, man. Listen, you need somebody in your life that demands you to upgrade. Somebody in your life that you got to get up to run with. Can't stay in the bed because they get up early. They lay down late. You need somebody in your life that's making it happen. Somebody that tells you, come on here, come on here, come on. Because nothing comes to a sleeper but a dream. And it's a nightmare when you wake up and discover you were dreaming. Rise. Look at somebody, tell them, rise. How you going to upgrade your life when your company is not conducive? I'm done as I tell you this. I'm done as I tell you this. I knew y'all were going to be quiet on this. He has an encounter with Jesus. He has an encounter with himself. He has a reality check about people. He has somebody in his life that tells him to get up and rise, somebody who puts a demand on his life. But then, listen. He has something in his life that makes him remember. Because what happens is a lot of times we upgrade our lives, and as God changes our altitude, we change our attitude. Some of y'all can't stand to be blessed. Because every time you get blessed, you act a fool. You forget all about where God brought you from. You get drunk on yourself. It's quiet up in here, man. Listen, you forget where you've come from. And when you forget where you come from, you literally put a ceiling on where you can go. It's quiet up in here. Listen, that's why every now and then I ride by 3212 Dante Street. I ride up on Eagle Street in Holly Grove. It's quiet up in here, man, because it reminds me of where I came from. Listen, Jesus commands this man to rise. He does not give him a hand out. He gives him a hand up. And when the man gets up, he gets ready to leave with his upgrade. And Jesus said, now wait a minute. Take that bed with you. Man, look around and say, you want me to take that bed that I've been laying in for 38 years? Yeah, I want you to take that bed that you've been laying in for 38 years and bring it with you. And I wondered, I said, now, Lord, you know, after a man been laying in the bed for 38 years, man don't want to be bothered with no bed. How many of y'all have been to the hospital? How many of you have ever had to stay in the hospital overnight? How many of y'all know when you get discharged from that hospital, the last thing you want to see Is that hospital bed? Well, if you feel like that after a night of staying in the hospital, imagine how he felt about a bed he'd been laying in for 38 years. And Jesus said, take that bed with you. And I said, Lord, why would you tell that man to take the bed? He said, because you know, when I upgrade people, a lot of times they get amnesia. And they forget where I brought them from. So every time you start getting arrogant and bigoted and put your nose in the air, that bed is going to remind you of where you came from. And if you act a fool, I'll bring you back to it. If you don't mind, just touch somebody, tell them, neighbor, don't you ever forget what the Lord has done for you and where the Lord brought you from. I know you're driving Cadillacs. And I know you're living, I wish I had some help here, in gated communities. But how many of y'all remember window units? How many of y'all remember when you didn't have no unit? And remember when you burned up in the summer and froze in the winter? Wait a minute. If you don't mind, just catch somebody's hand. Look at me now and tell them, neighbor. Come on, let me tell you. Look at me and tell them, neighbor, let me tell you something. Tell them you're sitting next to a miracle. Come on, tell them I've been through some stuff. Tell them life for me ain't been no crystal step. I've had some tears and I've had some fears and I've been in some broken places. And I remember when I had to eat banana sandwiches. And I remember this. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Jesus said, don't you forget where I brought you from. When you get your upgrade, don't you start acting funny with the folk who still live where you used to live. When you get your upgrade, I wish I had some help here. As a matter of fact, look at somebody, tell them, neighbor, I got a word for you. Tell them when God blesses you, it's because he expects you to be a blessing to somebody else. Go back and pick somebody up and say, if the Lord did it for me. Y'all give me 1 minute. We're done. I'm done. We get ready to pray. We get ready to pray in. Listen, y'all. Jesus meets this man meets Jesus, he meets himself. This man has an encounter with himself, he has an encounter with Jesus. He has a reality check concerning people. He discovers it ain't nobody's job to put him in the water. He has somebody in his life that puts a demand on him, somebody that tells him, rise, come on up. You've been slumming too long. And then finally, he has something, he keeps something that reminds him. In this iPad right here, I can show you a picture of that shotgun house that I grew up in. You could throw a baseball through the house. I could stand in the front door, and my brother could catch it in the back door. Didn't have to worry about hitting nothing because there wasn't nothing in there to hit. I keep it in there because it keeps me humble. I remember, listen. I remember when I would wear leisure suits, reversible jacket, burgundy on one side and blue on the other. When I wore my burgundy side, I had burgundy pants to go with it. And I come through walking like that. Wore my blue side, I had blue pants to go with it. I wish I had some help in there. Now the Lord has blessed me, I can wear clothes with my name in them. I wish I had some help in there. Look at somebody, tell them, don't forget where the Lord brought you from. Because only God, Stacy, could have brought me to where I am. And listen, if I stay humble, my prayer every day is, Lord, listen, don't ever let my head get bigger than my church. Anybody in this building who ever met me in public, you know I'm the same in public as I am on the pulpit. You meet me in the restaurant, I'm going to say, hey, baby, because that's who I am. That's a part of my DNA. That's where God blessed me. And see, that's why some of y'all can't stand an upgrade, because you don't know how to manage your attitude. When God brings you up, stay humble. Grab somebody's hand.
Hi, this is Bishop Henry Bolden. I am the Bishop of Operations for the Family of Churches Fellowship International. And I can't even begin to express to you literally how excited I am about our soon approaching Holy Convocation for 2018, happening right here, the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana, June 19th through the 21st. Listen, you want to put it on your calendar now. This is the event. Scratch that. This is the epic event that you have to be at. June 19th through the 21st. All you have to do is go to www.focfi.org and register now. Now check this out. We have drastically slashed the prices for registration. Registration is only $29. You heard me. I'll say it again because you're probably thinking he must have made a mistake. I really didn't. $29 for registration for these 3 days of impactful ministry. VIP, if you so choose to be a VIP registrant, that is only $49, but I need you to do it quickly. I really wish I could extend this rate for a long time, but there's only a small window, so you got to get in now. It's going to be an amazing time of ministry. 2018's Holy Convocation theme, as mandated by our presiding bishop, it is the year of innovation, new ideas, new concepts, new approaches. This year is going to be a year where you leave empowered and equipped, and your whole ministry is going to be enhanced by what you receive here during FOCFI's Holy Convocation. This year, I'm excited for a lot of reasons. This year's sessions are going to include the swim conference, which is Sisters Winning in Ministry. And of course, that session is led by our presider, Bishop R.C. Blakes Jr. and Lady Lisa Blakes. Sisters Winning in Ministry. This is a session that is in much demand literally around the country. But this year, we have the privilege of offering it to you during Holy Convocation. Also, another area that I'm excited about is our young emerging leaders. That's right. There's a generation of leaders who are on the rise. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we pour into them, that we impart into them so that they are equipped and they are prepared to lead with integrity and do those things that God has called them to do. Also, this year, for the first time, something I'm really excited about, we have Bishop Samuel Blakes. He's going to be leading the Prayer Nation every morning at 9 a.m. right here at the Pontchartrain Center. Every morning, 9 a.m., he's going to be praying heaven down, I promise you. And also, we're doing a section led by our Bishop of Education, Dr. Henry Ballard. It is the session for pastors and leaders. I promise you, there's going to be a wealth of information. It's going to be rich with substance. It's going to be rich with insight. And you definitely don't want to miss out on that. I'm also excited about offering this year a very special presentation by none other than Bishop Mark A. Moore Sr. from Atlanta, Georgia. He's going to be dealing with You Can Get There From Here, how to overcome plateaus in ministry and business. You certainly don't want to miss this. And our special guest will be none other than Pastor John Hanna, pastor of New Life Covenant Church, Chicago, Illinois. But I need you to register June the 19th through the 21st, right here in the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Actually, we're at the Pontchartrain Center. As you see me standing here now, we're in a suburb of New Orleans called Kenner. And the reason we're here, we wanted to make it just a little more convenient for our delegates who are flying in literally from around the country and around the world. We're about 5 minutes away from the airport. We have some host hotels that are literally next door and maybe 2 or 3 minutes up the street. But we are here at the Pontchartrain Center. I'm excited about what's going to be happening for Holy Convocation. Come on with FOCFI Holy Convocation, June 19th through the 21st. www.focfi.org. I need you to go and register now because you can't miss this. I'll see you here for Holy Convocation.